everybody. We are back from break with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage. When we left our heroes, they had just completed a battle, an attack against a Drow Ovrindar outpost. They successfully prevented any of the Drow from fleeing and alerting reinforcements. But not only that, they were reunited with an ally or made a new ally, I guess, depending on your perspective. One Quailan Hlond, a Drow elite warrior of House Ovrindar that they had rescued previously from the Sethian Scourges, who, due to the experience that he had with Dirzana Freth and the Sethian Scourges, and then due to the treatment that he received when he returned home from said events, decided to turn to the party's side, and has now provided them with as much information as he possibly can in order to help them fulfill their mission. While this is going on, Mossy and Bones are heading eastward into unexplored territory in order to affirm some information that Quailan had given to the party, that there was a portal to the east of this location. So, Mossy and Bones, as we fade back in, you've just walked through the doorways. First of all, I forgot to describe this, but on these two double doors that you are all kind of like standing, or you can see on the eastward, engraved on this doorway is an image, or kind of embossed, engraved, is an image of an underground spring. And it looks as if there are these little wild, naturey spirits kind of cavorting across the spring. It is an image that evokes delight and pleasure. Mossy and Bones, you have walked through those doors, and you find yourself in a large chamber, high vaulted ceilings, and it's appointed as if to be a large, elegant dining room. There's a high, flat ceiling, hanging from which is a wrought iron chandelier, shaped vaguely like a giant spider, right? The legs of which hang outward, and there's little candle holders on the edge of each of the legs, anchored to the ceiling by a chain held on the northern wall. Beneath the chandelier is an elongated oval dining table with a slate top and spider-like iron legs that dominates the middle of the room. There's 8 cushioned iron chairs surrounding it, and an ornate wooden cabinet that stands along the north wall next to that chain. And then across the majority of the southern wall is a beautiful elven cityscape. Just a large fresco carved across the southern wall. You can see that the large chamber continues eastward, outside of your field of vision.
I head eastward.
You head eastward.
I check the ceiling for spiders.
Not only are there no spiders that you can see in your vicinity, there's no trace of webbing in here either. It seems as if this place is truly outside of
Weird.
What? How did I activate that?
Magic.
Oh, gotcha. No, I did a shortcut. I just forgot I did a shortcut. So you continue heading east. There's a large entryway, no doors or anything like that, just an open space that heads into another chamber. And this one is massively, there's a massive ornately crafted fireplace on the eastern wall. There's filigree and sculptures and reliefs decorating the fireplace and the wall around it of various different elven figures and elven cityscapes. there are spread throughout the chamber in almost kind of like a semicircle orientation are 6 stuffed chairs of various shades, shapes, and sizes, as well as a faded red chase lounge arranged near the fireplace itself. You see there's another entryway, just open hall leading south, and then there.
I gotta take a call for work. I'm sorry.
Okay, no worries. We'll flip back to everyone else real quick. While Bones is still away, you guys are discussing plotting plans with Zeron and Quailan Hlond about what the fuck to actually do. And while this is kind of happening, if anyone has anything, you can jump in. Otherwise, Zeron starts to kind of question Quailan on a specific line of inquiry.
So does anybody know if like Mossy can like move Earth? Like I know he like swims through it, but does he like displace it? Like does he put it somewhere else?
I think he just becomes it and moves through it.
Yeah, because I was thinking, or like Ezra, do you have like Earth? I know you're like electromancer or anything, but do you have like geomancy or
in my studies of the primordial planes, when I learned speaking the various primordial dialects, do I have a understanding of the power that so it obviously it's easier to see air elementals operating in their element, water elementals operating fire. Earth is the one that's a little bit more curious.
Sure. I think I think this is an interesting subject, and it's probably one of those weird things that different scholars debate, right? Like writing treatises on is like, no, you fools, logically the physics of the thing dictates that the Zorn or Earth Elemental must indeed just become the Earth with which they pass through. And then, some other scholar will be like, no. Such and such is spouting drivel. How can one become an element and of the thing that they are passing through and not have pieces of them lost along the way? No, they displace things around them, right? They create pockets of space before and after, and yeah. So, roll me an Arcana check or a History check. The History check is going to be a higher DC.
I mean, they're the same number, so I want the lower DC. Come on.
Then go for the lower DC. 16.
Come on, man.
One half dozen or the other. There's who knows? It's a lot of debate. Might depend on the situation or the space. As far as what can Mossy do, you've never really seen Mossy displace anything when he's moving through stuff.
He just kind of melds into it.
He just kind of melds, right? Yep. Now, that boy can drill, so if he needs to get through something, he can get through something real quick.
But primarily his movement tactic is the meld element.
It seems like the Earth glide is really more of a glide through rather than a displace through.
Yep. So I would make it clear that I am not 100% confident in the state of things, but from what we have seen with Mossy and from the research I've seen, there are different theories, but again, we have seen Zorn that stick an appendage out and do stuff, and then there isn't dirt that's flailing up out from it. So...
Yeah. Right.
From a science aspect, I envision it, they just atomize themselves and just...
Right. So the reason
that's how I expect water, wind, and fire to work too, so...
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking is because that's a lot. We have a lot of foes in front of us, and like I am perfectly fine trying to hold the south, but that's one less fighting body in the main force, right? and I don't want things to go south because we're down a body.
Why are we down a body?
Because I'm going to hold south.
Well, Zoran will say, I mean, if no
Maybe.
one's... You can see in your darkness, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, if no one's coming to you, then there's no reason for you to stand there. You can... I mean, with the amount of bodies that Quailen is describing that are going to be in this room, I would assume you can step forward and fight someone and still be probably pretty close to that doorway. And if not, that means we've killed most of the people that are in the room already, so you should be able to just do whatever you want to do at that point.
Okay.
And if you've been touched by my invisibility, you can do whatever you're gonna do, and not need to pop your darkness. That still
Right.
is a last resort.
An option.
Like
Okay.
if there is a flood of people heading south, then you press the red button. But
Quailen
Okay.
will say, as a reminder, right? Not only do you have to worry about runners, you do need to worry about the giant spiders, because unlike these giant spiders that were here, this was a new outpost. The ones that exist at this outpost have established webs that can communicate with other locations of Avrindar territory, i.e., it's kind of like the spider gets on the blob of web and starts shaking it type thing.
Mhm.
That's going to send signals through the webbing elsewhere. So either you're going to need to incinerate a lot of the web that is leaving the space, or you're going to have to do something about those spiders, or you're going to have to suffer the fact that those spiders are going to call for reinforcements, and it's just going to be a thing. Right? Now,
Right.
the
Is
way
that-
he describes it, he will say, to his understanding, it's not an instantaneous thing. It's not like one spider uses one action and then everyone knows, right? It's they have to be in the right space, and they have to continuously like alert, shake the web, shake the web, shake the web type situation. So
Yeah.
you might have some time, but that is something that needs to be dealt with unless you're not worried about it.
is that webbing that I have a clear line of sight if I poke my head down the hallway?
It's really far down the hallway. He'll remind you it's going to be 200 plus feet, probably. Well, it's
So
like
more than 100 feet. Got it.
it's like 120 feet from the entryway of the temple to the chamber, and then that chamber is a massive chamber. Right, so you might be able to get some of it, but not the back part of it type situation. So it depends, right?
So I can't do a fire bolt,
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
a lightning bolt of fire down the hallway to.
That's potentially.
It's only
something-
100 feet, so
Yeah.
so you've said it's further than that.
Yeah,
so.
you would need to get closer. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Gotcha.
But once you're closer to the room, then you might be able to identify. Oh, these are the big like placements of web. Let me incinerate those things. That could be an option. So
Could also
again,
drop
while
my
this
7th level firestorm.
concept is being theorized, we'll head back to Bones and Mossy. Bones and Mossy, you've come into this kind of like sitting room, right? There is a doorway to the north, and then there is a hall leading south, a short hall leading south. Where do you want to go?
I'd like to go to the short hallway leading south.
You pop over to that corner, and you can see there is another chamber past this sitting room. It's still a large chamber. Every one of these chambers is massive, right? Like this temple complex is incredibly grand, right? In its heyday, it could have fit so many people and so much space and so much activity. Even the dining room that you were just in, right? Like that massive oval table was only outfitted to seat 8 when that space could have seated 100. Right? Like, it's a huge room. It's almost ostentatious in design with how grand all of this stuff is. In this room, you find an elegant Zirkwood desk dominating the center of the chamber. there is a high-backed, thin chair on the opposite side of it, positioned behind it, right? Carved into the west, south, and east wall are rows of bookshelves, most of which are sadly barren, but there are a couple of little, like, dusty tomes here or there, scrabbled about. It's a study. I say study. It's a bunch of big ass bookshelves and a single fucking desk. Again, way more space given to this single desk than is needed. This could fit 20 desks in here comfortably.
Well, that's all right. Well, no portal. I leave.
Okay.
What's this big thing?
That's the fireplace. That's the massive fireplace for this sitting room.
I probably don't want to be inside that then.
You don't want to check out the fireplace?
I open the door.
Okay, you head north, you open the door. You see, comparatively, a significantly smaller chamber, though this is still very large, still a 30 by 60 foot chamber, right? And it's a bedchamber, right? There's a Zirkwood bed, draped with spider silk, with a spider silk canopy standing in the northwest corner of the room. There are two similarly carved nightstands, one on either side of it, right? There is and on the northeastern side of the room, of the northern wall, is a tall rectangular mirror. And you can see as you kind of like approach it, etched into the bottom of the mirror's stone frame is the word Tuoya.
Oh, all right. Found the portal. All right, I leave. I go back. That's all we needed to know.
Okay. You feel free to make your way back. So the party continues discussing. Probably about 5 minutes have passed, right? Since Bones has left. You're being cautious. You're being slow in your scenario, so you don't trip any traps or run headlong into anything. So it takes you far longer than it would to just sprint through there, right? But the party is still discussing ideas and strategies as you return, Bones. You guys, it's your show. What do you want to do? Take it away.
I'm back. It's me. I found it's the way out portal, the one that goes to 7.
Nice, good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I do.
Huh?
Uh-huh.
That's it.
Oh. Theron and Quailen both join in on the huh?
Huh?
You hear Mossy go, "Brrr."
Good one.
Okay, well, that was efficient.
I will say it's at this point that you guys probably have about 30 to 35 minutes until the theoretical patrol, right? Quailen will tell you they try to send patrols back and forth through these areas every once in a while. The majority of the patrols are just typically 2 elite warriors and a handful of drow warrior retainers, right? Though once every other day or so, Quailen will tell you that they send Blonweb's hunters in a patrol around the periphery of Avrindar's territory. And he doesn't, like, those aren't a set schedule, so that could be in 35 minutes-ish, or that could be 2 days from today, you know?
Well, that's concerning. I guess we should go. What do we land on? Flashbanging everybody and trying to kill as many as we can?
Discussion is still open. Ideas are still available.
Do we know how to open the gate that you found? The mirror?
It's the way out gate.
Flashbang murder.
That's not that doesn't answer my question.
It says way
I
out
don't know how to
backwards.
open the
When
gate.
you say way out, it opens. We found that on 7 and figured out how to open it. We just were too scared to go in.
Okay.
I have no idea where on 7 it is,
I
but
was
I
gonna
remember
say,
it's on
actually,
7.
I'm not sure that's exactly how that happened.
There's on Jay's little pictograph. It says "way out" backwards, and there's a little unlocked icon.
Yes.
On the 3rd floor of Mad Goth's castle in the northeast.
Yeah,
area.
that's so. What I was gonna say is it's not.
Oh, we should probably not use that one.
Wait. So is my thing wrong?
No, Mad God's Castle's on 7.
Okay.
He just doesn't know the details of what 7th is,
Okay.
and yeah.
Just making sure.
Yeah. That could be something, Jay, you and I connect on for giving extra detail for what and where and how each of the portals are for all the intricacies. That's something we can do off stream and figure out.
Agreed.
NBD.
Okay, so what are we doing here, or what are we doing with the peoples?
So is the thought that our true Dro amigos are going to play the role of checking in while Ashes and Bones get into position? Matashtai, you and I wait for the go signal, and
I could drink my potion of questionably greater invisibility.
Oh, hey, Bones here, and I'll give you the 3 vials of drought poison. And
I mean, at that point, if you twin cast greater invisibility, and he
Sick, I
drinks
like
the
that
questionable potion of greater invisibility, and then you invisibility, that would be all 4 of you invisible.
assuming that questionable potion is actually a potion of invisibility and not a potion of stone giant strength or some
Look at the
weird.
potion of questionable greater invisibility. Questionably greater.
I mean, if you want to take that risk, I will toss my twin spell on the other 2, and
That's fine, let's do that.
you deal with your.
Okay, yeah, so let's do that. Let's do little
Well,
draw
we got to get to the temple first.
Okay, draw people first. Accidentally trip a couple webs. The rest of us invisible, and then suddenly, flashbang, and then dead
That's
spiders.
assuming we make it to the temple without issue.
Yeah, well, it is what it is. All right, let's go.
Okay.
We go.
We go.
On our way.
Hold up. Let's do some marching orders and let me just kind of like. listen to
We
you guys.
go, Jeremy. You heard what we're doing.
I'm
We
aware, but
go.
it's just gonna be easy. Because it's
We
easier
literally-
for basically everyone if I just move you guys rather than you guys string yourselves along.
I don't
for the
know.
next
A couple
3
of
minutes.
us like to jump through walls randomly. So
It's not even a wall
Yeah,
issue.
you
It's
should really
it's
get out of
a
that habit, Jake.
it's
I
It
know.
sticks
It's,
me.
it's,
I can't help it.
it's chronic at this point. I don't know. I can't help myself, guys. It's just
all right.
I see a wall. I just have to run into it repeatedly until I phase through it.
Hey, I understand.
I mean, you know.
All right,
It's
you
a
guys
thing.
begin to travel southward, past the dragged streaks of blood.
I don't see any blood. I
on
don't see
the
any
You
floor.
did
blood.
a great job cleaning that up, brother.
Damn, I knew I should have
Prestidigitation.
used my stick instead of the spear.
You guys make your way to this long hallway.
Making my way.
In the way.
May away.
You go past the first door, and it is about this point that you can very clearly see as you're traveling down this other long hallway. I'll get to that here in just a second after I describe this. Sorry. You see just in front of this doorway that you are heading towards, right? Is a pile of skulls, of bleach white skulls. It's not a small pile either. It's like a solid 30 or 40 skulls stacked up into like a little pyramid. Yeah. The hallway that you're passing down, it's large. You can see at the east has collapsed in a pile of rubble. And it's stately. It's much like a lot of the other halls that you have passed through previously on your way through Obsidia. Perfectly cut, 20 by 20. Very rather than the kind of like undulating, kind of like almost sensual drow figures that you've seen on the walls in other places. This doesn't have all of that kind of iconography. It just has like very pointed, almost kind of like Roman column style lines, right? Looks very stately. It just has a giant pile of skulls next to the door. You were warned about this by Quilent, though, so not totally shocked unless you just want to be.
I'm not shocked.
Continue downwards.
unshocked.
But we must take, for they are skulls.
There is easily enough space to skirt the pile of skulls unless someone wants to interact with them.
I think I skirt.
I do not wish to disturb the skulls for the skull throne.
Is my detect magic still up, or has that wavered at this point?
How long does it last?
9 minutes.
It's definitely down because you guys were sitting
Oh,
talking.
that's right. We
afterwards
did wait
for a while, yeah. So I will say, right, like if you had wanted,
in theory, I could have.
yeah, if you were wanting to put it back up, your part of the conversation kind of ended after the interrogation of Quilem. You threw out a couple of suggestions here or there, but if you had wanted to, you could have started the ritual and finished it once Bones returned and you all decided on a plan. So if you want to have it active,
I think if I could have that active, knowing that I will eventually be casting, potentially
it's gonna drop
something
right?
to negate it, but for the duration, knowing there are sensors and traps and all that shit, I would have.
Yeah, there's a shit ton of necromancy all over these skulls, my boy.
Yeah, don't touch those.
A shit ton of necromancy.
Oh, it's that boy.
You say, yeah, don't touch those. And Quilent kind of nods and he whispers, they scream into your mind.
They
That's
scream into
disturbing.
my mind already.
And he kind of just shrugs and gives you a look.
I
and
nodded knowingly.
He gestures at the door.
I pretend to be knowingly
Right.
nodding at him.
He gestures at the door to the south. But you guys can see there are other piles of skulls down the hallway. This is not the only pile. These little presents, and again, these are probably like 30 or 40 skulls in these little pyramids. These little presents from murals show or tell an interesting tale about the power of House Avrandar. You've faced them many times, and you've heard a lot about what they're about and what they can do. To see this kind of wholesale slaughter apparently being done by one creature is a bit of a thing. Phylan points towards the door leading south.
That's quite a bit of slaughter.
I mean, if we divide the drow kills we've got between the four of us, it's probably comparable.
Yeah, you're probably matching Mural at this point. Leads you into the chamber. And immediately, Ezra, you feel that kind of like flavor of the divine, right? Yep. So there is divinity here, there is the power of the gods here, and there's also enchantments and a little bit of transmutation, right? There are enchantments woven here to create the effect of identifying the hand signs, the requirements for opening the door, right? You all walk into this chamber and you find awaiting you a scene of darkness, right? Across the walls here, you see alleyways. You see you don't. They're not there, but like out of the corner of your eyes, you swear you see like the flash of metal, right, and the spray of blood. You feel a chill crawl up your spine. You feel like you're being watched here. There are thick black curtains hanging from iron hooks on the west, south, and east walls. And it feels, they kind of like ripple softly as if there's a slight breeze here. And they look like cloying shadows. Like you look into them, and it's almost kind of like this Vanta Black void. Like you look into them, and for a very brief moment, you kind of feel as if they just take over your whole field of vision and just kind of like suck you into the void, right? Before you kind of like shake your head and look all around you again. At the southern portion of the chamber is an altar of blood red stone. And it is this that Quailen begins to... He looks kind of back at you over his shoulder, and he begins to walk up towards it.
I follow, but also trying to stay attuned to the magical essences.
Okay.
Was he looking for all of us to follow, or just Ezra?
No, he just looks back at all of you, right? Like,
Okay.
And again, all of you, because this is just that party, all of you have insight trained. He looks back at all of you, and he moves forward, and his motions slow and become very exaggerated, and he puts his hands out to his side, right? And he's very clearly like trying to show you that he is not pulling a fast one on you. He is not betraying you. He is he is trying to be as obvious as possible in his motivations towards you. He gestures towards the altar, and very quietly he says, "So, once we perform the hand signs," he points towards the southern door, and he says, or southern curtain, and he says, "Behind that, a passageway will open. It is somewhat audible, so it is possible it will be noticed. But again, Dinrith quite often is sparring with her retinue, so it's possible that what she is doing is going to be quite loud, so perhaps it will not be noticed. However,
I think it's fair. It's fair to assume
we shouldn't
once
do anything
we
until
do that until
we are
we're
ready to go. Exactly. Knowing at this point, you know, and again, he has specified this is not hard and fast. He said about an hour. You guys have about 30 minutes left. That about might be off. You might have more, might have less.
Right.
But you know that there is some sort of likely patrol
There's a clock
that is coming soon. So you guys have a
Sounds like
little
we've
bit of
gotta
wiggle
find
room.
out.
Little bit of wiggle room to do what you want at this point. It's over to you. What
Let's
do you wanna
go.
do?
So first and foremost, you may be playing decoy in this first bit. You were not on a suicide mission.
I would prefer not to be.
I want to make it clear we are not expecting you to throw your body at this situation.
I
You
will
saw the path we
absolutely-
came.
I will absolutely fight as best I can, and I will assist you as best I can. If
Mhm.
we are all going to go down, then I will likely go down with you because I do not see myself making it out on my own. But
Yeah.
I have no intention of martyring myself.
We as you are aware, are capable of things. that I don't
If you
know
weren't,
if you are
I
capable
don't know
of.
that I would have made the decision that
That's
I
fair.
made today.
That's fair. As soon
Knowing
as
what
you
you did
feel
to the Sethian Scourges and seeing a bit of that in action less than 40 minutes ago, less than 20 minutes ago, is a big motivator.
as soon as you feel that you are at risk or ready to tap out, we got this. We know what we are doing. We are here with purpose. Don't throw your life away.
Understood.
You know where we came. Do you know how to get to the chamber through the wall?
Yes, we were made aware of it.
We will meet you there. If things hit the fan.
Understood. For clarity, when we come back, you don't need to come to this chamber. You can go to the first door. And he kind of like points over to the east, right? The Temple of Elistrai, right? Is safe to pass through. We just don't know how to activate it from this side. On the opposite side, there's a very clear button to press to open the doorway.
Okay.
You don't want to go through the Screaming Skulls?
It's just less distance to travel is the only reason I pointed out. In case we have to beat a hasty retreat, the extra
I think we're going to be in a hasty
200
retreat.
feet might matter.
That's probably the preferred route to go.
Zeron will kind of say at that point, right, like, speaking of preferred routes, are we going all the way back the way we came, or are we heading somewhere else? This new way out thing that you found, is that our preferred egress, or
7th floor is it poses risks. Probably that might be a plan B.
so only if we need to leave in
Yeah.
absolute haste.
Yeah, that
But
could
otherwise,
pose
we are
a
heading
lot of
back
other
through
risks.
Obsidia.
Yeah, I think that's safer. Unfortunately.
We don't. You said you knew of other ways out of the 10th floor. You don't want to take those instead?
Going through Dwemercore seems like a risk too.
Okay. Zoran's not really familiar with that, so he just kind of takes
Yep.
your word for it. He's just like, okay. I mean, he's vaguely familiar with it. Like, they're aware of what Dwemercore is. Most of House Spreth is aware that Driven's son is a student at Dwemercore, but they don't hear anything about it, so it's not common, like, discussion.
Right. The only other option would be going further north through a couple of pressure walls to go back to 6th.
Okay. Sounds interesting.
And that might actually be our plan B, and plan C is going to 7th.
It sounds like we have a couple of options, and we can decide on the fly if need be.
Yep.
All right. Well, and Zeron kind of like looks over at Quillen and he says, "I'm ready when you are. Hoods up. Do they have any issue?" And Quillen kind of shrugs and he says, "I doubt that they will really be paying attention to us if there's sparring happening. But a hood up is fine. It gets chilly down here. No one's going to second guess it, at least from afar." And so you see Zeron kind of like nod and kind of throw a hood over his head. And then they will kind of like, they'll approach the backside of the altar, right? Now there does remain that concept of, if you guys wanted to do greater invisibility, did you want to wait for them. It's the kind of like, are you min-maxing it or are you playing it safe kind of concept, right?
It's
in my mind, we open the door.
Sure.
Let them have a beat or two ahead of us, because they're going to be walking slowly.
Yeah.
Or at a normal pace, and then Ashes and Matashtai have to be within touching distance of me.
Sure.
And then I can twin spell, and they can keep pace or pass or whatever the fuck they want to do once they are invisible and I'm concentrating on that spell.
All right, sounds like a plan. I'm assuming everyone is kind of gathering towards the southern portion.
Yep.
So, Mossy, I think, will actually look over at you, Bones. Zach, I don't know if you're still busy or not. If you are, just
he's dealing with work.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
okay,
he's back
so
to work
I'm gonna assume that Mossy is actually going to go ahead and go underground underneath Zeron and Quillen, because Mossy's fucking slow. So if he doesn't stay up towards the front, it's gonna take him several turns to even engage once battle happens. So we'll operate with that as a concept, unless Zach decides otherwise when he gets back. But I think it is probably at that point, as Quillen looks for the final go-ahead for you guys, right? And then makes a series of hand signs, right? Like Naruto's it up, absolutely. And there is a slight kind of like a breathy sigh that goes through the room, and then you hear this kind of like streak of metal and a distant scream, right? And again, out of the corner of your eyes, you see like the flash, glint of steel and the spray of blood on one of the walls, and you turn and there's nothing there, right? But you do hear, right, the kind of like as the door, the secret door opens. Unfortunately, the creators. Normally, I get to say pretty good things about Roll20, but in this instance, when they built the lighting scenarios, they didn't build a door or removable doors for these secret doors, so I have to move you guys through. I don't get to move a door aside. It's built into the entire map, basically.
Silly.
Which
That's
is
fucking silly.
very annoying. Yes, I mean technically it's not the entire map. This map is pretty huge, so it's done in sections, but it's like a quarter of the map if I wanted to like rebuild it. So a little annoying. But anyways, I can move you guys through at this point. Quillen, Huand, and Zeron Adaragon begin to move through. And they are going to head on down. Ezrah is going to pop some greater invisibility, one on Ashes, one on Matashtai.
Correct.
Oh, we're not waiting like a minute? Or like 30 seconds or whatever? However long, 15 seconds?
Yeah. You guys are waiting a little bit.
Okay.
You're giving Quillen and Zeron basically like 2 turns, right? They're not sprinting, so they're gonna walk basically 30 feet and then walk basically another 30 feet, and then you guys are popping your stuff and going.
Okay.
So it is about that time that happens. And the idea being there is that you guys are gonna sprint, right, to catch up to them. So that when they arrive at a walking pace, you guys are all basically right behind them, with your greater invisibilities. So I'm going to say it is at this point. I'm going
Does
to
Bones
put,
have to do anything for his greater invisibility potion?
he has
I
to
drink
drink it.
I drink it. Potion
drinks
of
it.
questionably greater invisibility.
Where did you get this from? What is this?
Ashes gave it to me.
Ashes, where'd you get this from? Where is this?
I'm sorry. What did I give him?
You gave him a potion of greater invisibility.
I have no idea where I got this. I just remember getting a potion, and you told me it might be this. I probably should have put in the item description where I received it,
No worries.
but I didn't.
You're okay. You're okay.
Oh no, what's wrong with the puppers?
Oh no, he's being weird.
Sometimes
Mad.
that happens.
He's being antisocial.
Huh.
And now
It
he's
is-
barking at me.
It is from the Alchemist's Laboratory on level 7, Mad Goth's Castle, actually.
Oh,
So,
I still don't remember.
all right, I'm
That-
going to do this. I'm going to put
What?
you here and you here. You here and Ezra, Ezra's popping his invisibility. So he is going to be invisible here.
Alright, I'm deleting the potion of questionably greater invisibility.
Also, secondary question, is anyone like healing or doing anything like that during the long strategy conversation that you had or
I
anything
am
like
not popping the invisibility ring. I'm holding
Oh,
back.
that? Okay,
I
gotcha.
was gonna say, do we have like is that like short rest time or is
No,
it
it is not enough time for a short
Okay.
rest. Yeah. You would have to use potions or staff or other magical effects. Or hands of healing
Okay.
or what have you.
Enough.
And that's a question for all of you because a couple of you do have damage on you.
I was gonna say, how much are greater potions healing at 2d4?
It's
44 plus 4.
44 plus 4.
All right, well, I'm gonna drink 2 of those.
I'm missing 20 HP. I'm
I'm missing 1 HP. That's like 20% of my health.
Pete, stop throwing it on the ground then. Lord of mercy. Here.
Have
around
mercy.
5 HP.
I'm glad Jay
Right.
Jay appreciated the joke.
I probably should have done it that way. Sorry, hold on. Let's
No,
see.
no, that's fine. He can fill 42 HP.
I mean, that's the right math. So, no, you did 48. You didn't do. It should have been 8d4.
Yeah, that's what I did wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, that seems high.
No.
You weren't too far off, to be fair.
That first one was an amazing roll.
That's still 31
30.
healing points.
31. All right. Takes
See.
me to 100 HP exactly.
I've got 2 regulars. I'll pop those real quick. I've got
Regular.
yeah, here you go. Well,
Regular no.
I get Feral Might. That's a plus 10. Yeah, that's good. That's actually real good. Plus
Okay.
10.
Jake, you said you were hanging back with Ezra, so I have you just on the other side of the wall. When stuff happens, you can just let me know and I will move you through the wall and we'll go from there, okay? I just don't.
yeah.
I don't have you on the other. Actually, I mean, it doesn't matter. Like you're not in vision range right here, so I'll just have you right here. You're on the side of the wall. You can hang back
Sounds
as much as you need to at that point. However, it is at this point that I think. Couple of things are going to happen.
Come here.
First off, as you all open the secret doorway
Come on.
and you head through
Come on.
past the dark drapes, you hear the sounds of shouting. You hear the clash of blades. You hear jeers and yells, right? Coming from the east. It does indeed sound as if there is some sort of brawl or sparring session or something like that happening coming from that direction. You can all kind of like look down the hall in your brief glances, and you can see Zeron and Quailan Hlond are making their way through, and you can see they are being cautious. You see them step over specific webbings, but you can see they're not being especially cautious. Like every once in a while, one will obviously step on a web or next to a web that jiggles that web or something like that, right? Potentially making your passage easier. Okay? However, I do at that point need Matashtai, Ashes, and Bones as you attempt to catch up with your greater invisibilities to Klon or Quailan and Zeron. You know what? Actually, I think the way that this works, it's just going to be. No, it's fine. You guys are moving. You guys are moving. You're going to easily be able to catch up to them. Each of you roll me a perception check with advantage. The idea being that you're going to want to avoid the webbing that you can, if you can. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Ashes gets a 26. Bones gets a 29. Matashtai? With advantage.
Damn.
27.
Not as good.
Pretty damn solid. You guys are able to, one, now that you know what you're looking for, easily identify the filaments, the strings of web, the little patches here or there. But not only that, you've also been kind of like given a pathway. Quailan and Zeron have already made it easier by breaking a couple of these strands for you. You are able to catch up to them as they are basically doing their last little 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So as they are kind of coming up to the last little bit of the chamber, you guys are coming up behind them. You feel rumble of Mossy underneath them, and you all, invisible, and make sure I'm in the right, Ezra. You want to be back at the thing this whole time. You want to be at the back until you hear things pop off, and then you're gonna go. Okay, gotcha. I just don't want you to be mispositioned or anything like that. Okay, yeah, you guys approach the mouth of this this hallway, branching out into a greater chamber, and you see there's a big melee happening. In the center of the room, there's a dozen or more drow warriors all in a circle, and every few moments, a drow warrior gets shoved in from the circle or steps in from the circle. You see a single woman standing in the circle, blade drawn, not a scratch on her, long white flowing hair behind her. And she is lightning, right? She moves like the wind. And the next person that gets shoved into the ring barely has a moment to deflect 1 or 2 killing blows before she punches him in the face, shoves him back into the edge of the circle. Another person comes rushing in, and it just keeps going over the course of the next few moments, right? As this individual, Dinrith Ovrindar, is brutally demonstrating her power to her retainers, not so much teaching them. All of you have insight trained, so I love being able to just be like, yeah, you all can clock this. You can clock the fact that this warrior, this Dinrith Ovrindar, is very capable. potentially a match for any one of you on your own. But is she a match for 16 to 20 drow warriors? Probably not. If they all swarmed her, they could butcher her. And even if they didn't all swarm her, one or two at a time, over and over and over and over and over, would chip her down. The fact that she has no wounds means they're too terrified of her to even try to hit her. Because woe be unto the individual that does actually harm her. This is the situation that you find yourself walking into. You see, obviously above you, patches of webbing. You can see to the north, there's a great fireplace. To the south seems to be that doorway that Quailen Hlond had spoken of, right? And there's a brief moment where a couple of different individuals look at... Oh. I don't know.
They look at, I don't know.
No, sorry. Bones just GM rolled me some stuff and asked what that does. And I have no idea what he's talking about. I think you're muted if you're talking to me, boy.
Somewhere, not in Discord.
Oh. I figured it out. I know what it does.
Okay, gotcha. So, there are a couple of individuals that clock you from this circle of fighters, right? Or not that clock you guys, that clock Zeron and Quailen. But like they kind of surmised, none of them kind of bat an eyelash. They are all very focused, almost overly intently on this sparring session with Dinrith. You know, and Zeron kind of like looks back. You're all invisible, so he can't see you. But he just kind of like looks back, nods, and you see his hand goes down to that pouch where he has had the flashbangs. And he and Quailen start to walk towards the south a little bit. You guys are free to move up slightly as this is happening.
Yeah,
All right.
I think
I break off
sure.
and start to walk towards the north a little bit.
Yep.
And I also finger my flash balls.
Your flash balls. Pop here for me real quick.
I stopped there real quick.
And Mossy is
God.
right behind you, okay?
Spiders.
Zeron has no idea where you guys are. He has no other indication of how to kick this thing off. You see he walks slightly south with Quailen. His hand flashes. You see as soon as his hand flashes, Dinrith, who has just Sparta kicked a drow warrior in the chest, right? Turns, and you see a whip flashes out, cracks towards this ball, like she clocks the motion, spins, whips towards it, but it's a fucking flashbang. So she hits this flashbang mid-air, and it just detonates. And it is at that point that I need everyone to select their tokens and roll for initiative.
I don't get the flashbang too?
It's very likely that you guys are I say not very likely. You guys are gonna get a surprise round on basically everyone but Dinrith.
Okay. I can't select Mossy. I don't know where his ass is at.
He is under the ground. I will pop him up for you real quick. He is right behind you.
Alright.
Okay. My god, this is gonna be a whole thing. Let's put on some music. There's a lot of stuff to do here. Gonna be a moment. All right. First off, yeah, fairy tale. Okay, first off, we have one of the flashbangs. The flashbangs do... Gotta see the AoE on them real quick. They are... 20-foot AoE. Okay, so he was lobbing it, trying to hit kind of like a more central location to hit as many targets as he could, right? She used her reaction to intercept it, and it cracked basically on the edge. So what is going to happen here is I'm actually going to need... Oh, no. So, yep. Need 6, 10 per... Zeron and Quailand are also going to be hit. And then I actually need Constitution saving throws from each of you three as well. Because...
Yeah, but weren't we expecting it? I don't understand.
I'll give you advantage on it, sure. The thing is you were expecting the flashbang, but you weren't expecting the flashbang to go off in your face. You were expecting the flashbang to go off in the middle of the drow. She caught it and catches it in the air and causes it to detonate early, basically.
Thank you for advantage.
So, but yeah, you guys are expecting a flashbang to happen, so I'll give you 3 advantage on the flashbang. You know?
I'll take it.
Yep. I need to roll for 10 drow warriors, for Zeron and Quailan, and for fucking Dinrith. Okay, for Quailan, he makes it. He's good. For Zeron, he makes it. He's good. Jesus.
That's... Alright, get him out of the way now, Jeremy.
Those are your guys.
Oh. Oh, yeah, those are our guys.
Yeah. Okay, so 10 drow. Makes it.
He still doesn't like
What
it.
the fuck?
I'm the only fucking person that failed it.
You're gonna
Despite
be the only
expecting it,
person who
that
fails
pissed me
it.
off.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1,
There's one.
2, 3.
3.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 3 of them fail it. And that is 1, 2, 3, 4 for the 5th, 6th, and 8th. This one.
What? What are you barking at?
He said what?
So what?
And 8. Okay. And then Dinrith gets a +6. Just barely makes it herself.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is that. Bones is also blinded.
Hot damn.
And Mossy is not, because Mossy is technically under the ground right now. Okay. That is cool. We've got a bunch of figures that I need to roll some goddamn initiative on. Yeah.
Yeah.
My god. Okay. All of the drow warriors are surprised. The giant spiders are surprised because their webbings were not tripped. I say that. Giant spiders are going to roll a insight check. They need to beat a 15, I think, in this. They have a +1. They get a 12. They're surprised. They are too used to drow coming and going, and the manner in which their alarms were tripped was not outside of the norm. So they are surprised by that situation. Dinrith is not surprised. So, we are going to launch into the battle map at this point. Oh my. Everyone on the list, including Ezrah? Yes. All right.
I'm hiding. I'm hiding. I don't count.
First couple of
I'm
people
not a thing.
are absolutely surprised. Matashtai, you have greater invisibility upon you. You see this flashbang fly out from Zaran. You see Dinrith's reaction, unnatural reaction. The whip cracks out, causes the flashbang to detonate early. Does create a blinding effect around both you and your allies. Catches a few of the drow, but remarkably, many of them are able to shield themselves, partially because of just facing away from where the flashbang detonates, right? Because it didn't make it inside the circle, so only a couple of them actually turn and see it, right? Actually, there's two right here that get blind, so it's probably right between their heads as she cracks it and detonates it, right? So, you're up. There's not even a
two with
shout.
their eyes fucked.
Yeah, the one with the
blinded?
eyeball, the three with the eyeballs on them are the ones that are blinded. But there's not even quite a shout going on. There's just confusion initially. All of them have weapons drawn because they're in this kind of like sparring scenario. But you can see many of them have wounds. Many of them are a little bloodied. Many of them are kind of like breathing heavily, right? What do you want to do?
So just confirming, the plan was to murder everyone in this room, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Outside of our
We're
allies, of
supposed to
course.
kill the spiders first. So.
Yeah, the
Oh, we're supposed to kill the
spiders.
spiders
The
first?
spiders
Okay.
are a big. It has been notified to you that the spiders are a big problem. And Matashtai, you, Ashes, and Bones all have high points of perception. You were told to look out for these kind of like big webbing masses that the spiders use as alert points. Right? They'll get on it and they'll start to shake it, and the web vibrations will go through to other webbing. Right? You see that there is one to the north under... How far? Where are you? How far can you see? Yeah, you can kind of see all the spiders.
I can see it.
We can
yeah,
see.
there's one to the north under this spider, and there is one to the south under this spider. So there looks to be like two of those points.
And then also we want to make sure no Dro exit
No runners.
to
No runners.
the south point
Yeah.
or whatever the case is.
The South Point is like a big no-no, but we don't want
Okay.
runners in general, like any
Well, I guess-
direction.
I guess I'll go for a spoder then.
It's probably south, Spoders, north is priority for panic mode.
10, 20, 25, 30, 35, 45.
Spiders up
40,
are
45.
up 20 feet in the air, just like the other ones were previously. As a heads up.
Damn it.
Sorry.
Well, that.
Sorry. I'm trying to. I'm trying to give you information. I will mark
That's a
them
problem.
as flyers. Bada.
Gotcha.
Bam.
Fodder.
There it is. Find my little.
So
wing.
literally on their turn, they can just wiggle their butt, and everyone's
No.
gonna know where
Quailen explained to you, right? Like, it's not
Mhm.
an automatic thing. It's not like they just go, and then everyone's alerted. They have to, like, there's a series of activations of actions that they have
It's
to do
like
to
3
be
turns or
like,
some
it's an
shit.
alarm. Hey, because
Okay.
if otherwise, anytime they moved, every web would be like, oh shit, it's an alarm. No, they have to sit there
Alright,
and they have
okay.
to, like, shake it
So
in
like
a specific
turn one
manner.
is Morse for S.
Yes.
turn
I'm the step of the wind,
basically.
and I'm on top of it.
Oh.
Are you going? Are you just going right up the wall?
Yeah, I'm just going right up the wall. I'm gonna
Okay.
beat the fuck out of this thing in its nest.
Clarity. Again. You're free to change your action. Where they are is covered in webs. You are going to be walking into web, which means that you might get caught by web. You had a recent experience with this.
But I'm a spider climber.
Actually, does spider climbing say anything about webs?
I don't think it says anything.
Because if it does, then that's totally a legitimate route around it.
Hold on. Let me double check, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't say a goddamn thing about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does not.
Say
No,
literally
it just
anything
gives you a
about
climbing
spiders.
speed equal to your walking speed. So, no, you can still get caught by webs.
Okay.
You will be restrained. That's going to happen.
So, is there web like everywhere? Like, what if I approach from over here?
Where the spiders are, there are webs. If you want to get into melee with a spider, you will be entering into webs.
Okay, well, I accept that. I go.
Okay, that is fine. You're going to be able to reach base to base with this spider, regardless. As you do, you will be entering into web. You enter that web for the first time. I need you to make a DC. What is their DC? It is DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Blammo.
Easy.
13.
Oh, I say easy peasy. Exactly what you needed. Yeah, you walk through the webs. You're able to pick your way through. You get a little bit of sticky on you here or there, but not enough to slow you down. You are in base to base with this giant spider. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna hit it. So
Hello?
I got my ethereal staff out.
Or
I'll
sweet.
bonk this one.
You bonking a 30 hits. I don't think I need to say that. 15 damage. Crack.
For
you
clarity,
see chitons...
while I'm in the web,
Yeah.
how much can I move? Like, do I have to make a save every time I move in it?
Now
or
that
how
you
does
are
that work?
now that you are in web, it is difficult terrain to move. First of all, it doesn't really matter to you at this instance because you just entered into the web. But if you want to run around in this space, that could matter in the future. If you end your turn or enter the web for the first time on your turn, you have to check to see if it restrains you.
Okay.
So yes,
I'm
if
gonna
you just
regret
play
going up
around in the
here.
web, you will continually need to see if it restrains you.
Cool. All right. Well, I bonk him, and then I attempt to stun him with the bonk.
With stun and bonk. Stun and bonk, they have a +1. He's stunned.
All right, he's stunned. And then I bonk again.
Bonking again.
Advantage.
Okay. Advantage bonk.
Bonk.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
You did it. More bonkage. Another
I know
crack,
exactly what's
another
happening.
leg splintered, another spray of green and black. Anything
Giant spoder on the list.
else? Was it not on the list previously? Nice. Okay.
I don't think I ever bothered to stun him.
Fair enough. All right, if that's the end of your turn, Giant Spoder is stunned. He is now no longer stunned, but that is his turn. Surprise, 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 Mossy. And Mossy is 5 feet down, so he's just below the surface right now.
Okay. I guess he'll go over here and just do what he can. He can't really do anything.
Come up and start swiping.
Yeah.
Okay. Mossy emerges from the ground and goes into blender mode. Okay. First one is a miss. Ooh.
Does he not
Ooh.
have advantage because they're blind?
These are not blind. I mean, unless you're specifically attacking the blinded one to the south.
The man right there who's blind?
Yeah. You didn't say anything. Don't me. Like I thought I thought you were attacking the one that was right across from him. But if you're attacking the advantage one, 17, 16, both hit. The 10s and 10s do not.
Alright.
So 9 damage. And 7 damage. So Mossy begins to whoosh, claw, does his little hot bite, misses with his third claw, begins to rip and tear into this blinded drow, who just screams, right? Is just like, screaming out, right? Like, because he's already not happy to be doing what he's doing, suddenly blinded, and then suddenly has his flesh being torn into by a Zorn. So yeah, he's a little dismayed.
Getting your ass beat by your boss, and then
Right.
get blinded, and then just torn
Get him, buddy.
apart.
Surprise, surprise, and then it is Ashes.
Have no way.
Cut a bitch.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go cut a bitch. Sorry, is the flashbang for like a turn? Or is it a save or it's a duration?
We'll double check. I think it is it's a save and then a duration.
Okay. Fuck it.
Yes. It should be for one. It's up to a minute, but they make the save every time they take a turn.
At
Alright,
the
cool.
beginning or end of their turn.
End of their turn.
I'll step up to blind man number 1.
Okay.
And so this is greater invisibility, so I can do this and not lose it.
Exactly.
Is
As
it
long
advantage?
as I don't get assaulted.
Yep.
Yes, because you're invisible.
Okay.
Yeah, 32 hits, absolutely, or 34
Oh
hits.
god, you rolled a 32. Jesus.
This one is the one Mossy had already been tearing into. You leap forward, bring Zalara down, hack this person in twain. Dead.
Hell yeah. All right. Then I will, just to keep, Mossy from getting pincer, I'll look to my left and strike the one in front of Mossy.
Backhand.
Advantage. 27. Or 23.
This one was already relatively injured. You stab through their heart, they die.
All right, and then I will look down or to my right and use my bonus action to attack this one as well.
Okay. 37.
37 for that's what, 9.
This one also already relatively injured. You cut their head from their shoulders.
Zoom.
Yeah, you just invisibly, right? Like
Lord.
they see the Zorn
Heads
come
are
out of the
just
ground and start
exploding
attacking
off.
them. But yeah, people just start losing body parts and blood starts streaking across the ground. All of the drow here are freaking out.
But it's like in Chainsaw Man, the pink hair just remotely killing people. Just
It's a magical Zorn.
yeah, it's the what is up with the sword? Intern.
Okay. Bones, you are up. Unfortunately,
I'm blind.
you got hit by the flashbang, so you are currently blinded. What do you want to do?
Nothing, I'm blind.
Okay.
Alright, end turn. What's up? It's my go?
Are
I
you
don't-
doing nothing for your turn?
There's nothing I can do. I'm blind. I have to be able to see stuff.
You can still move.
But I'm blind. I don't understand. Like
You
I'm
guys,
blind. I don't know
okay,
where
you
I'm
guys
going.
have played hundreds of hours of this game before, and you have been blinded before. You're telling me every single time I'm like, no, you can't move. No, you have to roll a random direction. No, you can't throw in a direction. You don't know what's there. Like, you can still
Like you
do
got shit in your
things.
eyes, man.
Yeah, you are at disadvantage on attacks. If you need to see something to do a thing, then yeah, you probably can't do it. But you can still move. You are a 13th level adventurer. You can still move forward and go, oh, I know where people generally are. I can hear them. I can see them. I can swing at them, etc., etc. Like, it might put you in a position that you don't necessarily want to be in, so you might not want to do that. But
Or end your turn. That's fine. We can keep going.
I'm reading something. Calm down, snippy ass motherfucker.
what you reading? What you reading? What's
I
the
mean,
plan?
you were the snippy one first.
You are
Because
kind
I'm
of
pissed
snipping.
off. I'm blinded at a fucking thing that we knew was coming.
Zach, it was a random roll. It happened. You had a chance to resist it. This happens in D&D. I understand it's annoying, but don't take it out on other people. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
What would you like to do for your turn?
I will move right here
Okay.
and end my turn because I'm blind.
Okay. Do you want to take the dodge action or anything like that?
Yes, I forgot that was a thing. I would like to do that.
Okay. You can take the dodge action, and then on the end of your turn, make a Constitution saving throw DC 15.
Okay.
Okay. You are no longer blinded. You blink
Okay.
your eyes rapidly, the effect dissipates. You have moved into a semi-flanking position, and now the rest of the people go scream, scream. And now it is Dinrith's turn. All right, so Dinrith is the only individual, only enemy in this fucking room that is not surprised by the situation that has happened here. Dinrith sees the Zorn come out of the ground and start to rip into people. Sees 3 drow in front of her just fucking drop, get cut to ribbons.
Super Zorn.
Right?
Ultra
From
Zorn.
apparently nothing. And Ashes, you're right there. Bones, your vision's restored to you. You can see what's going on. Matashtai is occupied with spiders. Ezrah is out of pocket right now. But you two can clock, right? Immediate recognition. Immediate recognition of this Zorn. Immediately recognition of the invisible attacks, right? You hear this individual shout out a string of commands in Elvish. And then she is going to dash. Motherfucking inability to click goddamn right fucking shit. I might have to go back to the way things were previously. Not being able to pick up a token and then right click where I want them to go is a big pain in the butt. I don't even know what's happening at this point. It's like shooting them across the map. It's wild. If I could show you guys, I would, but it would be spoilery, so I can't. So. All right. Anyways, I'm just gonna have to use the tool, I suppose, to be like, she is gonna run here. That's 35 feet. She's gonna throw open the door and move 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So she shouts out a command in Elvish, and then she shoulders through the freaking out Drow warriors, and she realizes that she's being attacked by enemies of House Avradar. She's gonna go get assistance from something that she knows can actually aid her. So that is her turn. This Drow is done, and Ezra, you're up.
I assume I start here. I hear a
Yeah, you hear all of this shit start to go down. Screaming and cursing and crying. Explosion. Come running out. Ba 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 ba.
and I action dash.
Okay.
End of my turn.
For clarity for me, you are not invisible, right?
Correct.
Okay. Right. Bump, 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 bump. We are on turn 2. Top of the turn order. Okay. There is immediately an individual that I want to just right click. I want to just right click. I want to do it. Game, let me do it. There is a guy that runs 20 feet here. Opens this, throws open this door, and then goes 25, 30. Looks back. Pulls a hand crossbow and shoots at Quailand. 13 misses. Goes wide. This guy runs forward. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And tries to stab Quailand. Short sword in hand. 10 misses. This guy runs forward. 5, 10, 15, 20. Over to Mossy. Tries to stab Mossy. Misses. Matashtai, you're up. You are in this webbing. You ended your turn there. I forgot to have you make a check for that.
I entered it on my turn and made it then. Didn't also have to make it when I ended there.
Each creature that starts its turn in the webs starts its turns. Sorry, not ended the turn. So as you start your turn, please make the saving throw. Dexterity, DC 13 dexterity saving throw.
Blammo.
You're good to go. You realize by the way these spiders turn to face you, you're in their webs. They have the ability to sense things in their webs. They basically can see you.
That's fine.
Okay.
Do I lose my advantage on attacks because of it?
Yes, you now there. It is not at advantage at this point. The initial one was basically like a surprise, and you just touched their web, right? So that's why I gave you the first round, and then you stunned it, so it didn't matter, right? But now at this point, their blind sight and web sense kicks in, and no, you do not have advantage on attacks against them.
Okay. Bunk, bunk.
Not that it matters, dear lord.
Bunk, bunk.
29. Holy shit. Another 29 damage to this giant spoder. At this point, you've cracked its chitin in multiple areas. Green ichor is kind of like spewing out of it. It looks really fucking hurt. It's still alive, but probably not for much longer.
Flurry of blows. Punch.
Okay. 20 hits. Absolutely.
Bunk. Apply hand of harm. Bunk.
All the bonks.
The Hand of Harm just does it. 7 necrotic damage. It had 6 HP left. Another crack, another spew of ichor, and it clatters down to the ground.
All right. So is this spider at the ceiling, or is it midway up the wall? Like, where is this in relation to the ceiling?
They are all 20 feet up. The ceilings here are 20 feet high.
Okay. I'm going to lower myself beneath this spider.
Okay.
And I'm going to march my way over here to the limit of where it can attack of opportunity me.
Okay.
And I'm going to punch it.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
I'm not going to punch it. I'm going to miss it.
That is
But it doesn't know that because it can't see me.
That is a miss. It can still see you.
It can sense that my feet were moving, that I might have done something. It can't see me punch.
The spiders have both a web sense ability and literal blind sight out to 10 feet. It can see you.
Oh.
It can see you like a bat can see you. It can feel the
like
vibrations and warmth of your body. It knows what
Daredevil.
you are doing. I'm sorry, I don't make blind sense. I don't like it is what it is. It does indeed see you. That is a miss though. Anything else for your turn?
No.
Okay, gotcha. So that first giant spider is now dead. We go over to this guy. He is a little far. He is going to go 5, 10, 15. He is going to pull a hand crossbow, and he's going to shoot at Zeron. That is a 16. That is a miss. This giant spider, you see, clambers up onto this big ball of webbing and starts to shake violently on the ball of webbing, and you can see webs all across the ceiling and through the doorways and things like that down the hall start to vibrate from this shaking. So this giant spider has started to signal to others. These two have a Matashtai below them. So, and I think they are... Yeah, they're all very, very politely in the right initiative order for both of them to just skitter down and come at you from both sides, basically. So, 2 giant spiders at Matashtai. Here is an advantage bite. That is a 15. That is a miss. Here's another advantage bite. That is a 22. I'm assuming that is a hit. Yes. That is 8.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was reading something. Yes.
You're fine. That's 8 piercing damage and 3 poison. You take no poison damage though, right?
Correct.
So 8 piercing damage to you. Okay. As these spiders basically, they just skitter down the wall after you, flank you, and they start to like stab at you with their legs and their teeth, their maws open forward, and you see these little fangs dripping with venom, biting out at you, trying to take you down. That's
Fresh
them.
stand teeth.
This drow's dead. This drow is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, also towards the door, and fire a hand crossbow at Quailen Hlond. That one does actually hit Quailen. So he's going to take 4 piercing damage. And he's going to need to roll a Constitution saving throw. He makes it. He's good. Okay. This one is going to step forward, shoot at Mossy. 19. Does a 19 hit Mossy? 19 actually hits Mossy. Mossy takes 2 piercing damage because this is not a magical weapon. Is Mossy immune to poisons?
Yes.
I think he is as a earth elemental.
It doesn't say he is.
Then he needs to make me a DC 13 Constitution saving throw. Please and thank you.
28.
28. Yeah, he is definitely not Not affected by the drow poison. This guy is going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, and he bumps. I will say this. He could bump into you, Bones, unless you want to use your reaction to dodge out of his way.
I don't really want to.
Okay. He will bump into you, and then in surprise, he will stab at you at disadvantage. So short sword disadvantage, 8. Just stabs wildly into the darkness or into the space nowhere near you. And it's Mossy's turn.
Okay.
This has turned into a massive scatter of bodies.
Yes.
Oh my god!
It's like turning a light on at night. And roaches
Just scattering? Yeah, absolutely.
Mossy's gonna eat the crystal I gave him.
Yes. Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
I don't know how to change it to make it do whatever needs to be done for that.
Righto, will do.
Is his attacks already calculated, or is it?
No, give me just a second. Sorry.
It's written in 1d6 plus 4.
So moss covered rock near stream. What did I say that is? How much strength is
Stone
it?
giant strength.
That's 23. Oop. Okay, so 23 should be that and that. Yeah, I wish there was a auto calculation on the NPCs, but to my knowledge, there's not. It should be updated now. He should be good to go.
Okay. He just gonna go to doing the killing.
He's doing the killing.
He'll do the guy in front of him.
Okay, sounds good.
Does eating the stone only act as a item interaction?
Yeah, actually, I don't know.
It's like you guys. It should be a bonus action. So, right. So, like, anytime you guys use a potion, it's a bonus action situation. Right. That's how we've been
Just
playing.
double checking. Yes.
I mean, yeah, for clarity, right?
That is how we are playing potions. Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Or at least potions of healing specifically.
I don't. Yeah, we don't use a lot of like potions of healing
If
scenarios.
only we had an alchemist that could brew us other types of potions where we could push those boundaries.
I'll start doing it.
That's fair. All right. Sorry, you rolled 18 hits, 13 misses, 18 hits, and 25 hits. So 11 damage and 12 damage killed the first one. So claw, one claw scrapes across this drow's chest. The other one disembowels him. And then you can carry. Do you want to carry the bite over to the one next to Bones?
Yeah, the top one.
Yeah, Mossy just jumps as this guy lunges and tries to stab into the invisible Bones, and nowhere near. Mossy just jumps on the side of him and just blenders part of his shoulder off and into his chest cavity, and he dies instantly. Because he only had 9 HP to begin with, because Dinrith had already kicked his ass.
Good lord, she has no chill.
She's very violent and sadistic, so yes. Does Mossy want to move or anything like that?
He did move.
He already moved. Okay, cool, gotcha. I did not add Quailen and Zeron to the turn, so I just did that. Quailen is now going to go ahead and take his action. Quailen is going to move down and start swinging at this individual that just shot at him. Quailen will make a short sword attack. That is not at advantage, so that is just that is a critical failure. Let's see. He does confirm the critical. Oh no!
You rolled a 1d5. Of course he confirmed it.
Did I?
Of course he confirmed it when you guarantee he's gonna roll a failure.
I apologize. My brain doesn't always work. Look, there's a lot of things going on. Okay, he did
Yeah.
not confirm it. He's good.
I saw it. I'm like,
Thank you for catching me because I didn't want it to happen. He swings. He does hit with the second one. 8 and 10 is 18. Unfortunately, this is actually one of the only full health warriors here, so he does not drop this one. But he does hurt him pretty badly. And I think it is at this point that Zoran's not going to let this shit go down. So he blinks and catches the first fleeing one. Shadow Summoner. That is that's a miss. He'll swing again. Shadow Summoner. That's a hit. Misses just by sheer luck as this Drow warrior is scrabbling away. And then plunges his Shadow Summoner through the heart of this Drow. And you see immediately as afterwards, right? You see Zoran's hand go up into a clenching fist. And a shadow pulls out of the body of the creature or of the drow and is now at Zoran's whim. Okay, so after Mossy, we have this guy who is dead, and we have this guy who is not dead. There's a lot of death and destruction happening around the Zorn. So this drow is going to elect to not go that direction. So he's going to go down towards Quailen and Zoran, and he's going to shoot at Quailen. So there's that. Normal. Ooh, that's a hit. 6 piercing damage to Quailen. Quailen is starting to kind of get mobbed. Let's see if he can not fall prey. He does not fall prey to the drow poison. Ashes, it's your turn.
Okay.
he's a trooper. Jeez.
Let's see. I'm not sure what like the best. I am invisible, so I don't have to worry about like getting.
They cannot make attacks of opportunity against you if they cannot see you. So
all right. This is what I'm gonna do, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna run here. I'll make it, and
that drow is dead. Sorry, just to point that out.
well, I mean, I guess if that drow's dead, I could potentially step there and attack.
That is the one that Zoran just killed. I just didn't put an X on him yet. My apologies.
Yeah. No, you're fine. And this one is
That is the shadow of the drow that Zoran just killed and has animated.
cool. All right, cool. Well, instead, wait, let me make sure that's not a bonus action. I don't think it is. Let me go to my cheat sheet. Blood curse. Where is that? That's compelled duel. I should have looked at this up earlier. Okay, I'm gonna reach into my pack and I'm going to grab a seed of growth.
Okay.
And I'm going to throw it on the ground in front of the door.
Okay.
Oh shit!
Seed of growth.
You're gonna grow a tree to block the door?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I bought this last time.
The fuck? You can throw a
And,
seed at a point you can see within 20 feet of you, and a large tangled bush, 10 feet in diameter, immediately sprouts from the ground there. This bush turns in the ground into difficult terrain. Creature that ends its turn in the area must succeed on a DC 15 saving throw or be restrained. A creature so restrained can use its action. Okay. So it's not a full-on tree, but it's like a it's like a big shrubbery.
It's a bush.
Yeah, it's
Are you trapping yourself on the other side of it?
Yep.
Oh, go get over.
I mean,
Okay.
that it's like if they get through it, then
So okay. So are you throwing it on top of
Wait,
the guy
you're-
that is? So it's a 10 by 10, 10 feet in
Yeah,
diameter. So it's a 10 by 10. So
If I were to choose a,
I'm gonna say we're gonna do this. You're basically just doing like that.
Okay.
yeah.
Like,
You got
okay,
it. You
so
got it.
this
Let's say
just
this
comes
again.
up.
You want to be on the side that the rest of us are not. Just to make sure.
Well,
Be
The
stay on this side. Yeah.
for clarity, is the idea that you want is you're gonna guard this doorway because it's clear that a lot of them are coming through, so they have to go through the bush and then meet your blade as they're going through the bush.
well,
Or
yeah. But I guess
because I mean, you could easily put it in this same location and still be in the room if that is what you wanted to do. It's up to you though.
yeah. Honestly, sure. I'll instead hang
You
out
do
right
you,
here.
homie. You
Yeah.
do you.
Like either way is a valid one. If you are in that doorway,
to
that
make
is going to be
sure.
a more defensively secure scenario, but it's just going to mean you're limited in what you can attribute to the fight on this side. So
You're last man
it's
standing.
a choice,
that door.
right? Like, do you
Yeah.
want to be more defensive and guarantee that no one's getting through this fucking door,
No, I'm
or
fine here.
okay?
And I don't think I have anything on bonus actions. You know what? I take it back. I will, as a bonus action, I will cast Searing Smite on myself.
Zalara glows with flames, right? On Searing Smite, right?
Invisibly though. She invisibly glows with flames.
And-
Well,
and,
yes.
It's like an
only
ethanol
Ashen
fire.
season. Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. If that is
Hold
the
on, if you're invisible, you can see yourself. Is that what you're saying?
why not?
Huh. I guess I never figured that one. I figured you couldn't see yourself.
That'd be I don't know. Well, that's another one for
You
the
might not
scholars.
see yourself, but
right?
you like have a sense of yourself.
That's
Yeah.
one of those again. Scholars debate the concepts of sight while you are in, etc., etc.
I feel like any mage immediately solves that by trying to look at their
just
hand.
like be
while
like,
they're
oh,
invisible.
these guys are idiots. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so ends its turn, or yeah, so it has to end its turn there to be restrained. Otherwise, it's just difficult terrain. Okay, Ashes, you're done. Bones, you're up. There's just a growing pile of drow corpses at your feet. But Dinrith has fled to the northeast. You know, via Quailen's information, and via the kind of like divination done by Erelal, that this is probably where Dirzana is being held, and that likely the High Inquisitor of Vlonwev Alvrindar, Kareth Ikorza, is there. So, what do you want to do?
Who? Me?
Yeah, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I know it's my turn, but I thought you said Ashes or not me. I don't know.
I might
don't
have
know
said
what-
Ashes, because it was Ashes' turn just a second ago. I was saying Ashes a whole bunch.
I don't know what I thought. Okay.
Oh yeah, also
I
that
know.
spider is up on the wall just shaking this fucking web
right,
like
right, right.
crazy.
I'm gonna go around this bloody mess. 18, 20, 25, 30, and I'm gonna whip daggers at the spider. I'm whipping it at the shaky boy.
At the shaky boy, whip that dag. It's 16. That
No,
hits.
that actually hits. That
Just
hits?
hits. Just hits.
Alright,
16
we'll
is
take
their
that.
armor class. They got a thick little bit of chitin, but it's not that thick. Ooh. 38 plus 4 is 40 tier. Holy
And
crap.
then where's the grave to the one directly south of it?
There's one of those shrieking spider whales that comes out as your serpent's fang pierces the carapace of the giant spider near its eyes. It does not stop its, waving motion. It's alert, but it is grievously injured by that. Anything else?
Yeah, offhand sharpshooter, same guy.
Okay. 24 does definitely hit. Another 13 damage. Another dagger plunges into the chitin. Another crack, another spew of green. But the spider keeps shaking. Anything else?
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
it.
That is that. This guy is going to rush down onto Quailan Hlond. He's coming surrounded. The advantage of you guys all being invisible is you're invisible. The disadvantage is that only Mossy, Quailand, and Zeron are really visible, so they're getting all of the focus. This will be advantage short sword against him. A 20 would do it, but Quailand whips around, uses his reaction to parry the blow out of the way. So that is that. And then we go to Dinrith. Dinrith is going to continue. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. Okay. That situation happens, and then we are over to this one. This one is has seen Mossy blender things, is going to basically start to run away from Mossy, but shoot at Mossy. So shooting at the Mossy, that is not an advantage, so that's just a 16. That is a miss. And then Ezra, you're up.
What the fuck do I do?
Come on in, the water's fine.
Yeah, fine. That's the
I
water.
promise, as one of the only visible targets, you won't immediately
Yeah.
get a hail of hand crossbow bolts at you.
Yeah, definitely not. 10.
Especially since these drow are starting to figure out that
15.
Mossy is not a good target to shoot at.
Yeah, no, Jay, I get it. I understand what's happening if I rush in. You don't need to.
Well, it looks
I
a
get it.
lot like Ezra.
Wow. Yeah, I'm not holding a hand axe. What are you talking about? All right.
God.
So I see the bloodshed that Mossy's creating.
Yeah.
The two to the south, are those enemies?
The ones that you can see, yeah. Those are both enemies, and they're faced away from you, fighting someone to the south.
Okay. The closest, I'm gonna just go ahead and firebolt. Does a 13 hit?
To this one to the south?
Yep.
13 does not hit.
And then I wrap around the corner.
Okay.
End of my turn.
As that bolt of fire streaks across the air, goes wide, or goes high, probably, right? There are shouts that come up, and you understand them in Elvish.
Yep.
You hear, "Oh, there, down the hall! Some mage was casting! Get him!"
Nope, no mage. I just yell back, nope, no mage! No mage!
This guy's dead. This guy is, again, no one really wants to tangle with Mossy, so, actually, what's gonna happen, this guy is going to move 5, 10, 15, and he's going the same way that Dinrith does, but he doesn't know that you're there, Bones, so he runs right past you and leaves your threat range, if you want to use your reaction.
Well, yes, I absolutely do.
Okay. Because these drow warriors do not know what to do about 3 melee fighters with greater invisibility in their fucking midst. Honestly, they do not know what the fuck to do about that. I'm not sure what the fuck to do about that.
41 damage. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, he runs past, looks back, and as he looks back, you whoosh, stab him in the eye. He immediately dies. That is his turn. This guy is turning to follow, sees this guy look back, suddenly blood blossoms from an eye and he collapses, and then he goes, nope, and he heads the other direction. And he shoots at Mossy instead. That is a big miss. This guy was the guy that was blinded previously. So he is blinded now. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, so he runs south, bumps into a buddy, moves past him, bumps into ashes, invisible ashes, unless you want to use your reaction to dodge out of the way ashes. That's up to you.
Nah.
Okay. Tries to, doesn't know who you are, assumes you're another buddy, runs into a bunch of bushes and starts to like, what? Like, freak out that he's suddenly running through shrubbery. And is going to use, that was, sorry, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, no, sorry, that would be even more. He can't actually move further because of the difficult terrain. So
I'm sorry, is he ending his turn?
He is ending his turn in the bush. Because he can't move further. So that is that.
DC
and
15 strength saving throw.
he makes it. He makes it. And that is going to be the start of turn 3. And that is where we are going to call it for this evening. You all have opened your assault against this outpost of House Avrendar. You've initiated kind of like the final sequence of let's rescue Dirzana Freth and Arachnaphane. You've found yet another ally in Quailand Lond, and you've unleashed unholy terror on these Drow warriors who were just having a bad day with their really, really sadistic boss. And of course, the boss immediately jets.
They thought they were having a bad day.
And leaves all of the Drow warriors to take the brunt of the issue. It does seem as if you guys there's a flood heading towards the southern door. Zaran is there. Quailand is getting swarmed. Ashes is there, right? But there are a lot of Drow. Who knows what is going to happen there? Bones and Matashtai are on spider duty, and you're murdering the Drow left and right. But Dirzana Freth has rushed to the northeast, where you know, or at least you have been told and surmised, that there is another figure, another individual of ill repute, one Kireth Ikorza, the High Inquisitor of Vlanwelv Avrendar.
Isn't Dirzana who we're trying to save?
Or sorry, Dinrith and Dirzana. The two of them have both D names, and they're both D, and they both have R's in there, so I get them mixed and matched.
How many H's?
Too many D names. No, one H. Only one H. Only one.
Okay.
H. There's one H in that. That's right. So that is the situation as it stands. Will the party be able to stem the tide of Drow? Will they be able to get to Dirzana Freth or Arachnaphane in time? We'll find that out next time on Dungeons and Mad Mage. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.